Hello, everyone. I hope that you can hear me. I hope there aren't echoes. and um, I really hope that this new software that I'm using is actually working. I came on about a minute early just to kind of check things out. Um, I'm checking to see if I see myself on YouTube. Gonna just go ahead and refresh here. Sorry about that. Okay, I see myself. See myself on YouTube and I hear myself on YouTube. So I think that I'm good. Hello, Gwen. Hey, Gwen. Since there aren't a lot of people on here right now, you had asked me about a shadow box. If you could message me again, I did do my shadow box for my stamp camp, and I do have some extras. So if you wanted to purchase one of those for me from me, we could do it through a message. So hello, Mary. So, funny story. So, last night, everybody left my event. The last person left a little after 10 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to get everything set up for tomorrow. So, I came to my computer to get everything set up. And lo and behold, I I couldn't connect anything again. I had all kinds of problems. And I played with it for a while and I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm just done with ManyCam because I uninstalled it from my computer. I reinstalled it. I rebooted my router. I uninstalled it from my phone. I reinstalled it on my phone. I tried everything that I could do and nothing was working. So I started to do some research. What other software is out there that's reasonable? And I came across StreamYard. So we're trying that today and we're going to see how it goes today. I don't think I have it completely figured out because, like I said, it was probably about quarter to 11 when I was trying to figure this out. And I didn't have a whole lot of time to play. And I had my Christmas stamp camp this morning as well that the last person left at like 12:15. So it was a little crazy here. So we're trying it and hopefully it works. It's nice because I can see all my comments on my computer. I have my iPad up here just so I could check it. But I think that I don't even have to have my iPad open because I can see your comments. So hello, Julie and Becky and Debbie and Gwen and Mary and Sandy. I hope, let me know in a comment if you can hear me okay and if everything sounds okay. Um, Only because I was having problems with some echoes last night and I figured out that I have to use the sound from my cell phone and not from, or the microphone from my cell phone and not from my computer, which is opposite what I did before. And so that's a little bit different for me. Okay, Sandy says all is fine there. So good. I think that when I switch, you can kind of see this is my other camera right here, and I'll just switch them when I'm ready to start stamping. So let's go ahead and start with some happy mail. I forgot to share these last week. They were in my kitchen and I received this beautiful card from Debbie, and she was on here before. She was at my stamp camp last night. The Harvest of Blessing. This was a thank you card. I had an extra pack of this paper and she was looking for it because it sold out before she was able to get it. So I couldn't sell it to her, so I just donated it to her. So she was thanking me for that. And then I received this. Yes, it's a picture within a picture. So you have one little picture is down in the corner. Mine's off to the side. Yeah, so there's a side here, and then I'll just switch these. It's the only way that I could get it so that so that you could hear my phone. It had to be displayed. But if I had my camera, it was like there was like a lot of echoing and stuff. So this is how I figured it out last night. So I may have to play some more. I received this beautiful card from Mary Van Domlen for Thanksgiving. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this Blackberry Bliss paper, and look at how beautiful it is with all that gold that she had in there. And it was a a Thanksgiving card that she had sent, and it was so sweet. I'm grateful to have you in my life. And Mary, I'm grateful to have you in my life too. I'm so glad that stamping has brought us to be friends. So, all right, then we have some prizes to give away. So last week we made, well, this was our second project. This was a box within a card. So this little box comes out. And when I send it to the person, I'm going to leave the little chocolates that are in here. You actually have to take the ribbon off. And it's an explosion box. So it just opens up. And then we did the 3 cards using the 3 little pieces of designer paper and then adding that. So they were all the same Christmas cards. These are going to Diane Christofferson. So I don't know if Diane's on here today, but Diane, I do have your address, and I will be getting those off in the mail to you. And then for sharing. So anytime you share, and make sure you in the comments, you write that you have shared so that I know. You can either share it on YouTube, you can share it on Facebook. I'll even look at the post on Facebook if that's where you share it from. Just let me know that you shared it with someone. Receiving a pack of these neutral adhesive back sequins, which we used in my stamp camp. I'm doing one of the projects from my stamp camp today with you. And then I made a card to go with it. So made the little boxes. Friends love them. Oh, awesome. I'm glad that you did that, Nancy. So receiving these is Sandy Calloway. So Sandy, I will get these in the mail to you. And I'm glad that you said something, Nancy. Nancy sent me a message because she had done some of the card layouts that I did for her Christmas cards. And she put some of the sequins that she bought at, I believe, my sale this summer and stuff on them. And when she brought them to the post office, they wanted to charge her, or they did charge her 40 cents more to mail them out. I normally, because I can't control myself, and I always end up putting sequins on my cards, I always buy the 2-ounce stamps. They're 20 cents more per stamp, and I put them on all of the cards that I send out. But I also cut a quarter of a sheet of paper, and it doesn't have to be anything special. It could be some cheap paper, cardstock that you get somewhere. It could even be like when you get these things, you could just cut a piece of paper. And when I have something that is raised up, so let's see, these little sequins, these little dots, they're not going to cause anything. But if I have things like this little bow here, if I put that piece of paper over, it makes it a little more flat on this side. And then I put it in the envelope that way. It tends not to be as bumpy, and it tends to go through with just the 2-ounce stamp. So that's just a little hint for people. If you are like me and you like to add a lot of sequins. I try to find the things that are a little bit flatter, which are like these that I'm giving away as a gift, because they do ship just a little bit, or they do send just a little bit better. Oh, Joan, I'm happy that you're here too. I think I said hello to you, Julie. If I didn't, hello, Betty. So I'm really, really glad that you guys are here with me today. I'm going to switch it up. So what we're going to do today, one of the projects that I did for my Christmas stamp camp was this, and I am going to recreate this with you today. We're going to make that. We're going to start by making a card that would go with it. I'm going to give you some ideas of what you might do with something like this. I'm going to switch cameras out here. Whew, hopefully that works and you're seeing my, and I have to take my overhead light off. Get way too many shadows, and I still, with the sun being on this side of the house now, I'm still getting a few shadows coming in, but hopefully, let me see if I put my blind the other way. We'll go this way and see if that helps. No, that doesn't help. I'm still getting some light that's coming in. So I'm sorry about that. It's the time of day that I'm doing this, and the fact that I get afternoon sun on this side of my house. So it's causing some of the light to come through the window. So I apologize for that. It's sunny here today, which doesn't happen all the time in Wisconsin. Sun is beautiful, right? Yes, Becky. I think it's Becky. I think that sometimes people have problems with mailing it depending on the post office. I know locally, I have problems with the Kaukauna post office with them adding postage due to people when I send them stuff. So it leaves my post office just fine. but then when it gets there, they tell them that they have to add postage. So, all right, we are going to, one of the things that's going on right now is our last chance event. I can't believe that these are still left. This Sending to Your Stamp set is one of my favorite from the catalog. It's 40% off. The dies are 40% off. And this Christmas Tidings embossing folder is 10% off. They are all still left. I checked before I came on. And the boxes that we're using are also 40% off. I've got to find them. They're towards the back somewhere. And I do have some of these extras. So again, if you think you see this project and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to make that project, send me a message and I can talk to you about sending out the stuff to make the project that I'm making today, because I do have some extras left. I didn't have as many people sign up for the camp as I wanted to. And so I do have some of these left if anybody would like to purchase them from me. And I can even cut out all of the things. I can't stamp anything, but you could stamp other greetings. And even the gingerbread man that's on there, I could, instead of stamping them, just cut him out of the pecan pie, and you could just draw in his face. So, all right, we're going to start with, not the project, but we're going to start with a card. And I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't really made this card yet. It's in my head because it was a crazy week. And I think I have a little bit of effects of COVID. Like, I'm still tired. I get home after working a full day and I am just exhausted. And that's not like me at all. I usually can go until 12, 1 o'clock and get up again at 5 and go for another day. And I don't have any problems doing that for several days in a row, but not lately. Since I had COVID, I am just wiped. Okay, so our card base is going to be, this is real red. It's 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. I have a layer of shaded spruce that measures 4 by 5.5. 5 1/4, sorry. This is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And if you don't like eighths, just cut it a quarter instead of, so you could do 3 3/4 by 5 if you wanted to. I like to have just a little bit. Whoops, this is my inside one. Sorry, this is the one that's that size. And I ran this through that embossing folder that is 10% off. Isn't that awesome? It just has some fun sayings and images on, and it doesn't matter which way you put it because everything's going in different directions. All right, this is 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to be for the inside. I have a scrap of weight to do some stamping. I cut out from the dies the stocking in some of the DSP. That DSP is not available anymore, but you could put it in any Christmassy DSP. I cut out of shaded spruce one of our Stylish Shapes banner dies. And this is another piece of that. This is 3 7/8 by just 1/2 inch. We're going to make that kind of look like it's a mantle kind of a fireplace. We don't have a fireplace, but we're going to make it be something that the stocking is hanging from. I have the little white that's going to go on the top of the stocking. And let's see, I have the little foot and the heel of our stocking as well that we're going to do in white. And I feel bad. I wonder, let me see. The sun is so beautiful, but it's really causing, there we go. That's a little bit better. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start by making our card. I'm going to start with some stamping that we have to do. So with our real red, I am going to stamp the little holly berries. Joan, I'm glad you love to watch the process. Yeah, it's fun to just watch someone stamp. I watch so many different people stamping because I learn something just from watching them sometimes. I get great ideas. And this is our shaded spruce. And I'm going to do the leaves for my holly. And we do have dies to cut those out. And through the magic of TV, whoops, I have that. Come on. I do have it done already. Okay, so there is that. And then on our label, we are going to use some Versamark. And I'm going to use the greeting sending cheer, which I don't see in my bucket. Here it is. It fell out of the bucket. Sending cheer. I am going to stamp it a little bit to the right. All right. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the embossing powder. I should have ran my embossing buddy, but I actually did a pretty good job on that one. And I'm going to heat seal that with my heat tool. And I end up getting that when it's all done. I'm going to set this aside because I have everything cut to make another one of these cards, because I usually make 2 cards when I make them, and I didn't make this one ahead of time. I'm making it on the fly with you, which I don't like to do that, but like I said, it was one of those weeks. I'm going to close this. Nope, let's leave this open. Let me rethink that. We're going to stamp the inside greeting. So I'm going to, this is from our Merriest Trees, which this is carrying over. So this is still left, and I'm not even going to put that straight on. I'm going to kind of put it in the corner. And then we're going to take our little Christmas gift. That is another stamp, and I'm doing this in the shaded spruce. I'm also going to put that on an angle. Get that. And then we have the ribbon to come through. I have to stand up to line this up. Okay, so that's going to be the inside of a card. We wish you a Merry Christmas. And we've got our little gift. We've got our sending cheer for the outside of our card. And we are ready to put this. This is a quick and easy card. So for this one, like with this stamp set being 40% off right now, you could get this, and there is a stocking that you could stamp if you don't have a die cutting machine and you don't want to get the dies. And you could actually fussy cut around the stocking, because there is actually a stocking that you can stamp. I thought I had the stamp set that I set here to share with you, but I don't see it by my stuff. So I was one hot mess here trying to make sure that everything that I remembered how to do everything that I taught myself last night. I was Kay, the lady that came for my stamp club this morning, we were talking, and I'm like, I don't know where my phone is. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's in my stamp room, still set up, ready to go for my my stamping class online, because I was so stressed this morning. And then at school, we have one of the projects that the kids are doing for Christmas is they drew different things, and we're 3D printing. We took pictures of the things that they drew, and we're making ornaments, Christmas ornaments for their parents out of something that they drew. And so we have to 3D print like 240 different ornaments. And so this morning before my stamp class started, I ran to one of our campuses and took the 3D printing that we sent right before we left for the day yesterday to one of the printers. And I took all of the stuff off, and then I sent another print job over there, so that we didn't lose the weekend. We could use the weekend to print. So I even ran to work this morning. So it's been a kind of a crazy morning. All right. And then I'm going to use the wood side of this paper. I thought that could look like a little wood mantle or something that you might hang a stocking on. And then this is just going to go onto the front of the card. And I'm just using regular liquid glue. I'm going to raise up that stocking with some dimension, but so that I didn't have too much dimension going on, Hi, Karen. Welcome. We're going to be doing a little gift giving thing today. And then I'm going to put this white and make sure I have it the right way. That's the way that it goes. And this was a separate die, but like I said, if you use the stamp rather than using the dies, this would stamp white for you, or you could see that it was a stocking. All right, this is our toe. It's someone last night at my stamp camp. She said, "What is this?" I'm like, it's hard to tell unless you look at it. It's the toe of the stocking, and then there's a little heel as well. Yeah, I had some people who had to move around. So I have my stamp camp on Friday night, Saturday morning, or Sunday afternoon. You could sign up for any one of those because I do it here at my house. So I try to have enough options so that I don't have, so everyone can kind of fit in the house. If I had to, I would move it to school, but they have a Christmas production going on right now on the weekends, and it gets kind of busy with cars that I don't like to have other cars there. So try to do it at my house. So a couple of people had to change when they were coming. So I thought I had it really evenly spaced. But then a couple people, one lady has to have surgery on her shoulder and she just can't stamp right now because her shoulder is so sore. And so she canceled. So I'm making her stuff for her. And then another person had to move to Friday. So it ended up that today, when I was supposed to have 3 people, I ended up with just 1. So we had I was stamping the lady who is having the shoulder surgery. I was stamping her stuff so that I didn't have to do that at another time. So I'm just putting that on dimensionals so that it looks like it's hanging from here. And I'm going to pop up this kind of right in the corner. And I think I'm just going to use a glue dot for that. Oh, your group watching at Kathy's house? What are you doing at Kathy's house, Patty? Are you guys stamping at Kathy's house? I hope you're stamping. You guys made the second thing that I'm going to make. Now you can make a card that goes along with those boxes that you made at the stamp camp, because we're going to make those boxes that we made at the stamp camp. Okay, so there is a little bit of the holly on that stocking. And then I'm going to put this right here, and I'm just going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut it just like that and just glue that right there. And I didn't cut it very straight. So I'm going to try again. And I'm just going to use regular liquid glue with this. And set that down right there. So sending cheer, just a super easy, cute little card with all that little embossing that, and then on the inside, we wish you a Merry Christmas with the little gift. So this would be a perfect card to go along with the gift boxes that we're going to be making. So you could make a gift or a card that matches the little gift boxes that we're making. Now, I think we should add a little bit of bling to this. And I wasn't planning this ahead of time, so I'm going to have to, oh, I do have some red. I'm going to get a red blend. So these have gold. They have like a bronze, copper, and white in these neutral colored sequins. And I'm going to take a Stampin' Blend. This isn't real red, but it's Sweet Sorbet, so it, or no, Poppy Parade, so it'll work okay. And I'm just going to color in a couple of these so that I can add them to my card. Get my take your pick tool. I think I need a new putty. Oh, there's a little bit coming out yet. And we'll just place a couple of those, whoops, on our card just to add a little bit of bling. Stamping at the Oh, are you at the St. John Sacred or the VFW doing the stamping there? Because the lady that was at my Patty, the lady that was at my stamp camp this morning was going there right afterwards. She was there yesterday and she was going back today in Sherwood. All right, so we're going to, I did cut some paper. Let me see if I can find it. I obviously didn't put it in the envelope. Let's see. Here it is. I knew I cut this for my envelope to match. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on there. Happy birthday, Betty. Did I miss a birthday? Oh, happy birthday, Betty. Oh, I think, you know what? Kathy has her team Christmas party today. That's what you're doing, Patty. I bet that's what you're doing. I completely forgot about that. You guys are having fun. Awesome. All right. So there is our card that's going to go along with those gift boxes that we make. Super easy. If you like more, it's not that it's secular, but it doesn't have a religious feel. The last cards that I made were more religious. So I thought I would hopefully try to hit all different types. So, all right, so there's our card. I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to bring up these boxes. So these boxes are little nesting boxes and you get 8 of them in a pack. You get 8 of these square ones that have the little notch and you get 8 of the ones that they nest inside of. And I have 3 of them that I have put together already for you. So you don't have to watch me put those together. And I'm going to put these 2 together. We're going to put these together. So one of the things that I wanted to point out, so one of my customers purchased these and she was a little confused because when she went to fold them, she thought that the tape that they have on it, so they have some sticky stuff on, that it was on the wrong side. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So when she folded it, she folded all of this in. And she said the only way that she could do the tape was like this, where it's on the outside. And she didn't like how that looked. And then when she did tape them, she said that they didn't fit into the boxes. If you fold the boxes the opposite way, so if that's happening to you, you just have to fold the boxes the opposite way. So you want the tape to fold in. And then when you pull this off, and you just have to square these corners. So you don't have to cut and score and add your own tape. All of that is done for you with these wonderful boxes. Oh, just love them. Hi, Dee. Yeah, I was going to do it at 12:30, Dee, and then I changed it to 1:30 because my class last night ran a little bit long. And so I didn't want to not give myself enough time. And I didn't want to have to rush anyone who was here for my class today. So I ended up switching it to 1:30 instead of 12:30. So, and I'm using different software. So we're hoping that that's working. So that's why you're seeing me on the side and seeing my screen, because I'm using something different and I couldn't figure out how to use my computer volume and my phone volume without getting feedback. So we're doing this today, and I'm going to do a little more research when I have more time. Okay, so there is the nested, or the bottom one, And then that just gets nested inside of there. All right, we have a little bit of stamping that we have to do. So I die cut everything that we had to die cut. And I have a little piece. So in my stamp camp, for those of you that haven't ever done like a Christmas stamp camp, so everybody got these pieces in an envelope, and then they got all of this stuff, and they didn't have the stuff stamped already. I did that. I added that. So on this little piece of paper, they have to do some stamping. And on this piece of paper, they have to do some stamping. And on a label, let me find the label, they have to do stamping. And everything else I have cut for them already. So they do not have to do any of this cutting. So if you purchase this from me afterwards, I'm going to have to take all this out here to find my label. You do not have to have the dies. You would have to have the stamp if you wanted to have your gingerbread man stamped. Here's the label. Okay, so what I did for stamping this is my gingerbread man was pecan pie. Oh, Becky, you're going to make an advent calendar. That's a really good idea. I saw one of those made with these boxes, and they're awesome because you can put a lot of different things inside of them. Oops, I have a piece of paper here, tape. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp our gingerbread man. So again, if you do not have this stamp set and you wanted to purchase this from me, you could just say, could you cut out a gingerbread man out of the pecan pie because I don't have the stamp set? Or you could get the stamp set, and then you'd have the idea for next year and you would have a sample. All right, and then this is early espresso. And again, you could take a marker and you could make a little face on your gingerbread man if you cut that out of pecan pie. And then I'm going to use, there's a stamp that you can stamp in the little hearts. And I'm going to stand up for that to try to line it up. Okay. And then while I have the red open, I'm going to stamp those berries again. And I'm going to stamp the holly leaves. Okay, and I have dies to cut all of that stuff out. So I can go ahead and cut that out with the dies. I did that already. Here's my holly leaves, and my gingerbread man is in here somewhere. On this little strip of paper, I'm going to stamp the ho, ho, ho. So ho, ho, whoops, and ho. All right, and then I did have that label here. There it is. With the green, I'm going to use the stamp that says, for you. And I do have to give Kathy Miller credit for this. So we did our stamp camp together, and I made the gift card boxes that I showed you when we made the snowflake one. I showed you the one that I had made. And I made the cards, and she actually designed these boxes. And we kind of took it off of something that we did when we were in Lansing, and we used different paper, but she used the paper that we were using for our stamp camp. So for my stamp camp, everybody got half a pack of the Joy of Noel paper. And then all the projects, when I cut the pieces, I cut it from that half a pack. They got a quarter of a pack of the, actually, I ended up giving them a half a pack of the specialty paper. So the one that has like this, I can't even think of the name of it. And so we just cut all these pieces for them so that they had them to make their boxes. And then anything that was left over, they took with them. They got a spool of the ribbon that we're going to be using. They got a pack of these neutral sequins to use on all of the projects. They got a little gift from me. And so it's kind of just a fun way to get a whole bunch of gift making done. They did make a shadow box. And I should ask, I was going to do some new product next week to kind of feature some of the stuff that's going to be coming up in the new catalog. But if there are people who are still looking for gift giving ideas, or you've seen shadow boxes and you're not quite sure how to make a shadow box and you'd like to know how to make one, I would be happy to do to make the shadow box that we had and just kind of give you some pointers as to how to measure for the different sections that are on your shadow box, because they are really fun to make and they're really not too hard to coordinate. I was going to make one this week using the Oh Holy Night. I'm making some that have some lights in them that I'm going to give to those little battery up, or you turn on the, yeah, and they have like a little battery or whatever, those little lights in there, and with the Oh Holy Night. So, all right, or Oh Night Divine, I think it's called. And then I'm looking for, to look at my sample here. These have the wood grain on this side, and I'm going to put 2 of them with wood grain. So these are going to be the front of my boxes. And you do not have to put 4 of them together. If you wanted to, you could create these and create some different ones, and you could end up just wrapping each one of these individually. Thank you for sharing, Linda. Sandy, you'd like to see the shadow box. I would be happy to do the shadow box. I think they're so fun to make. And I would be happy to do that. Let's see, I need this down a little bit. So these squares, if you do end up getting these boxes, I cut mine at 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. You could do 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and they just wouldn't go out to the edge as much. All right, and then I wanted to notch out, and where did my punch go? I had a punch in here. Where did I put it? Oh my goodness. I should see if it's on my table. I don't see it in my box, and it was in my box. I'm going to run and see if it's on my table from when we used it, but we're just going to take a circle punch, a 1-inch circle punch, and we're just going to punch out half of it to match up with that little half circle that's there. Give me a second. It's there, it's there. Okay, so here's a little punch. And once I have that on there, I'm just going to stick this in here and line it up with where the punch is on the box. And that will just give me that little finger hole to be able to pull the box out. When the backing is white, you got to be a little bit careful, a little more careful to match it up. And if you wanted to not have glue on this little piece that you're notching out, you could always put the glue on the box and then add the paper to the box with, instead of putting the glue on the paper, put it on the box. Hi, Jay. All right, so we have our boxes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate each one of these. I'm going to take my bottoms and I'm going to leave those there. I'm going to eventually do something with those, but we're going to decorate each of the fronts. And I'm going to start with this one that has the specialty paper on that's in the shaded spruce. And what I did was I cut out that little gift. And again, if you didn't get the dies, you could always just cut something in that shape and you could put just a ribbon on the top. You wouldn't have to have the fun stuff that's on this from the dies. You could always just tie a ribbon on and add it to the top so that it looked like a gift. But I have the dies, so I decided to use them. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of put this on an angle on some dimensionals. And I'm just going to put that kind of like that. And again, I'm going to take some of my gems. Is this the one that I opened? I don't even know which one I opened anymore. I think this is the one I opened. Nope. Nope. I have one open here somewhere, but I have enough of these. I'm going to just go ahead and open this one. All right. I'm just going to put, excuse me, a couple of these little ones, maybe here and here. And then I'm going to take a bigger one, and I think I'm going to set that in the center of my bow. Okay, so I'm just going to add a couple of those. I'm actually might put these on the same side. That might look a little bit better. And this is the outside. Okay, so that's going to be box number 1, the front of it. Let's take one of these wooden ones. And again, I have that stocking. This is where I got the idea from for my card. I like that also. I make the center and what to put in the vellum or what. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and find the top of, here's the top of the stocking. And I'm just going to put that right on there. Now, if you wanted to, you could put that on dimensionals. I'm going to put the stocking itself on dimensionals. So I just put this down with regular glue. And I have my heel and the toe. And my Wink of Stella is not sitting here right now, but I would probably add a little Wink of Stella to this. I just thought of that. I should have done that on my card too. I just don't have one sitting here right now. I don't know where it went. I have been making, last weekend I think I made 60 some Christmas cards. Remember I was telling you that I had some orders for some and I had to make mine. And so I just made a whole bunch of them and said, just pick what you want. I'll take what's left. And I just made a whole bunch of Christmas cards. All right, I'm going to get these out of the way here. Play with these later. And I'm going to take the holly. And again, I'm going to actually kind of cover that with the holly here. Whoops, that's probably more than I needed. And then we're going to put the berries on. Just some different ways to give some gifts. Now, what would I do with these boxes? Like, what could you put in them? So, because it's hard for you at home to know how big they are. Definitely a lip gloss could fit in there. A pair of earrings that is on like a square card you could stick in there. You could roll up some money or put some money, fold up some money and put it in there. Not big enough for a gift card. If you wanted to do one of those things where you have different coupons that people could cash in for different things during the year, you could go ahead and print those coupons and you could, whoops, I did this the wrong way. I was supposed to do it this way and then stick on there, but that's okay. We're going to just do it this way. I wasn't paying close enough attention. But there's a lot of different things that you could put inside of these boxes. And I'm just going to cover up that hole with one of our sequins. Okay, so there's our another box. All right, let's do our little Santa hat. I think I'm gonna do the Santa hat on this one. So I've got the little base of the Santa hat. So there's a variety of different things you could put inside these boxes. Oh, Sandy, you started with your cards yesterday. It's like a labor of love, right? It was so cool. One of the ladies at my um, event last night was talking about how when she moved her son from one apartment or one place into another place, they were like boxing things up, and he had a shoebox, and in that shoebox he had all of the cards that she had made and sent to him while he was going to medical school. He was going to be a doctor. And so for all the different holidays, anytime he had something big going on and she made him a card and sent him, he saved all of the cards that she had made for him, and he had them in a shoebox. Isn't that awesome? I was like, for a boy to do that, that's so awesome. All right, my ho ho ho, I'm going to make a little bit. I'm actually going to cut this a little shorter. I spaced them out too much. I want that a little bit shorter. That works like that. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here. I'm going to cover up that hole. Just like the last time I used this stamp set, I covered up the hole with my holly. I'm going to cover up the hole this time with the ho ho ho. Okay, there's another box. And then we have our cute little gingerbread man. And I have this little square we're going to put down behind him. This has just ran this through an embossing folder. Oh, Jay, your son saved all of his cards too. That is so cool. I save a lot of the cards that I get from people. And with our little gingerbread man, he's got that little hook on, and I'm going to take that off. But I'm a stamper, you know what I mean? So I save them because I know how much time goes into them. And I know that, you know, it's somebody like spent a lot of time and thought enough to make a homemade card for me. So I end up saving all of them. But for a boy who's in college to be able to do that and then come back and show his mom that he has all the cards that she spent the time making them, that was just so special. Right, so there's our little gingerbread man on that one. And I'm going to add, I think I'm going to take some of the copper ones this time and add one there. And you know what? I think I'm going to bring this one in and add one there. Okay, so we've just got a little bit of bling there as well. All right, so you could at this point put these in here, and you could just decorate 3 of the sides and tie each one up individually and have 4 different boxes that you could give away as gifts. So if you've got, if you get something for the people that you work for and it's something just kind of small and you want to throw some candies in there along with, let's say, a lip gloss or lip balm this time of year with it being so dry and stuff, you could go ahead and throw a couple pieces of candy. You could even wrap some of the Hershey nuggets with some of the paper if you wanted to and throw that in there. And you could just wrap a ribbon around them, and you could just give each one of these away individually if you wanted to. If you wanted to have some, like I said, if you did like those coupons of some sort where you say, I'm going to, you know, do this for you, and you wanted to wrap them all in there, you could put all of these together and wrap them with a ribbon so that you could give them a bunch of different little things, and it's all wrapped up in this one gift. And if that's how I'm going to make this one, I'm actually making this for Robin, who's having her shoulder surgery and couldn't come to my class. And so what I did was, with that paper, that this was part of that class, so they got some of this paper, that paper. I'm using some of the paper that is green and red, and we're just going to put some mix of red and green paper around the outside of this. So I might put red on the top here, and I kind of put it together like this. And you can use tear and tape, and you can actually tape these boxes all together if you wanted to. Like I could tape these two together, I could tape these two together, and then I could tape those together. When I made mine, I didn't tape them all together because I thought if somebody gets them and they want to regift them, they may want to regift it as individual ones. So I'm going to go ahead, put green on the bottom there. I'm going to do the same thing over here, do red and green. And again, where you would put these might differ if you're giving them individually, because you might want, like, I'm not going to put anything on these because nobody's going to see those. But if you're going to gift them individually, you're going to want something on that side. So it kind of depends on how you want to give these away. But these pieces of paper, 2 3/8 inch by 2 3/8 inch, and super easy to just cut this apart and just add it to these white boxes. Now, you could leave it white if you wanted to too. You wouldn't have to decorate it with all of these pieces because your ribbon's going to go around here. So if you don't have it on there, it's not going to be the worst thing either. Okay, I'm going to do red and green on the top. I'm going to do this one in red. I'll do this one in green. And I have a couple of squares left over because I decided to also do the back. So I'm going to put some squares on this as well. I'm going to go all out on this one. All right, so I'm going to go ahead because it didn't take that much paper. So I'm going to put a green one. So I ended up having 5, I think it is, green squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 red squares. And then my squares in the front were just a little bit different. Now, when I used that really fun paper, and I'll show you that one when I'm done here, I ended up, we used different paper on each one of the sides. So there was no really rhyme or reason to, we just made sure we had a different paper. Let me get this on here straight. I didn't do very good there. It's still not the best. Let's see here. So back here, that's going to go like that. And then one more. And again, if you're wrapping them individually, you may want to add them to the sides and to the top. So you might have a few more pieces of paper, or you could just leave it all white and just wrap it with the ribbon. Okay, so here's where, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and tape them together if you want to. I'm not going to because, whoops, make sure I have it the right way. There we go. I'm just going to run my ribbon underneath here. And this is the ribbon that they got for the stamp cap. So by the time they made all their projects, they used almost a full spool of ribbon because we made a lot of different things. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I have enough ribbon so that I can tie a nice bow on top. Okay, so I'm going to hold this nice and tight. Now, if you aren't able to make a bow by holding your finger there, I'm able to, but this is a reverse tweezers, and you can just get these right on Amazon. That can hold it for you while you're tying your bow, and you don't have to try to, you know how you always need an extra person to tie a bow. Like, can you put your finger here? This is my finger that I don't have another person to hold that. All right, and I'll trim that off. And there is our little gift box that I can just pull this open and throw some different chocolates in it. Or I can throw, like I said, some lip balm or some money or anything like that. I have to catch up on comments. I'm sorry. You guys are all saying that your grandkids and your kids save their cards. That is so sweet. that they save all of those. That is so cool. My sister-in-law, when her kids were little, I always made a special birthday card, with sometimes their age that they were turning. And she used to scrapbook for her kids before she had four of them. And she would put all of their cards, the cards that I made, in their scrapbook for them. And she actually regifts my cards. A lot of my cards, when I send them to people, I put it on Post-it notes so that they can go ahead and take the card and regift it. I know a lot of people that do that. Okay, so there is our gift idea, along with the card that could go with it to wish somebody a Merry Christmas. You could also add like a little tag, a to or from tag on the top of it. There is that to or from, and there is a little tag that you could add if you didn't want to make a full card to go with it. But what a fun way to give a gift. I'll show you my other one. So here was kind of the idea that we ended up getting. This is using that bright paper, using the iridescent. This one has the to and from tag with the little envelope. And this one there wasn't really any rhyme or reason. We just made sure that every side had a different paper on it. Okay, it didn't really matter. There wasn't like a coordination where I did a red and a green on each side, but we just kind of mixed and matched the paper however you wanted to on that. So there's another idea with a different paper rather than this paper. So if this is something you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be able to do something like that, and you would like to buy a set of boxes along with the stuff die cut for you. Like I said, I can't stamp, so you would either have to have the stamp to stamp it yourself, or you would have to, I could die cut, like I said, a gingerbread man out of pecan pie, and you could just like write the faces in. If you had other stamps that could fit in here for greetings, I just can't stamp anything. I wouldn't be able to stamp this. I could cut that out in green, and I could cut that out in red, but I wouldn't be able to stamp any of the stuff for you. So send me a private message if that's something that you think you would like. I'd be happy to get that off in the mail to you. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and switch over again, but I'm going to where's my mouse? There it is. There I am. I'm going to put my light back on. All right, here I am. So that's what I have for you today. If you would like another gift giving idea, like a shadow box or something, let me know. I'd be happy to show you how to make those shadow boxes. They're actually very easy to make once you have what the dimensions are based on the different size boxes that you have. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested. I know one person said that they would be interested in it. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, let me go grab it. This is what I mean by a shadow box. So there's probably a glare there. But we stamped and die cut images and put it inside of a shadow box to use as decoration around your house. You could also, in place of where I have some of these little squares with trees, you could also cut out pictures of people to give it to them to have like, this is this year, like this is what we looked like in 2023 for Christmas. This is what the kids look like. So you could put kids' pictures in there, or you could put in different things that you did during the year to kind of represent that year. So you need more Christmas. Yes, I need more Christmas ideas. Okay, Julie, Christmas cards or like this, gift giving ideas? Because I also have, I just made some packets of hot chocolate that it's made with just a piece of DSP, and you just fold it and you put two packets of hot chocolate in it, and you just put a label on the front of it, and it's super easy to make. It takes one sheet of DSP, and just like that, it was done. I have a lot of different ideas like that. So if that's the kind of stuff people are looking for, I'll try to do like an easy card like I did today, just a little bit easier card, and then maybe a gift giving idea or gift packaging idea I can do that next week. I'll be on Saturday at 8:30 again. I'll be back to my normal time. It seemed like this software is working better than the other one. I don't know if having this over on the side is like seeing my screen over on the side and seeing me, if that's a distraction, or if you can't see the screen as big as you could with the other software because it's not full screen. Because I think we can try it right now. If I go to full screen, can you hear me right now when I'm at full screen? The only reason I don't think you can hear me is because the microphone I'm using is on my cell phone. But if you can hear me right now when I'm on full screen, let me know that. And then I know that I don't have to do that split screen. But when I was practicing last night, I don't think people are hearing me right now. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to this. Oh, it sounds good. Good to know you can hear me. Okay, super. Then I don't have to do the split screen. Last night I wasn't hearing me, but maybe I had something set up differently. So awesome. I'm glad that you could hear me when I was on full screen. I'll probably switch that for next time. All right, that's all I have for today. For those of you that won prizes last week, they are going out in the mail on Monday along with these prizes because I didn't have, I had some 3D items and I needed a box. I needed the flat rate boxes. So I picked those up yesterday so that I can mail it because I needed them for this and I needed it for the gift card holders. And so those did not get out in the mail because I didn't have the boxes that I needed and I didn't get to the post office to get them. So anyhow, my room looks great. My room looks like a mess right now. That's one of my tasks this weekend is to get this room clean. I'm off to a conference on technology for work on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm going to be in Wisconsin Dells, which is about a 2-hour drive from here. And so I'm not going to be around during the week very much. So I do have to get everything off to the post office on Monday morning so that I can make sure that's all done. And I need to get this cleaned. So thank you so much for joining me at this later time. Like I said, I will be back at 8:30 next week. And I'll plan some Christmas stuff yet. I'll maybe show you some of the stuff that I got from the new upcoming catalog. Question for you, Les. A couple of years ago, between Christmas and New Year's, I went live every night during that week and had a little sneak peek of the stuff that was coming. I might do that, but instead of making myself do 2 cards, I might just do 1 card each of the nights because I kind of had fun doing that, but it was a little bit stressful to have 2 or 3 cards each night. So if I did just 1 card and featured a different stamp set every night, that's what I might do between Christmas and New Year's. So on the 26th, which is Tuesday, the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th. And then I'll have my regular class on the 30th on that Saturday. So that's kind of what I'm looking ahead to right now. But I thought I would at least throw it out there for you. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm glad that I figured this out with a new software. And I think I'm going to continue to use it because it seemed to be working a little bit better than the frustration I had last time. So I hope you have a great weekend and a great week, and I will see you back here next weekend. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.